Greetings, it's Max, and oh great, the gift is back. Maybe at least in 15-minute increments. You are not gone long enough, Brian. You are not gone long enough. And even on your other channel, you want to go dox somebody else. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. I did not make a video on that because I didn't want to be complacent and actually giving out the person's information that he did and to make commentary on what the guy did. But here is his most recent video, came out a couple hours ago, and we're going to talk about this a little bit.
I'm back. Took a little bit of time off there.
That's my tagline. That's my tagline. I copywrote that.
Here in just a couple minutes, but
copyright strike
some
you.
real big things happening, big changes coming for King James Video Ministries. That's, if you're not aware of it, if you're newly into this channel here, KingJamesVideoMinistries.com is the actual ministry, Husky 394.
That you haven't touched in years and years and years and years. You haven't touched that website. All you did was upload your Trinity garbage. But other than that, it was all the same.
XP is the YouTube channel that I use for the actual ministry, the video ministry.
You would think you would have a King James Video Ministries channel somewhere that you would use, and not your chainsaw channel.
We are moving. We're in the process of packing up all the books right now and everything else. Most are already in storage at the new area where we're going to have the ministry. And, you know, a lot more to go. So this is all being taken down right now.
You know
going to be slowing down video production for a little bit till...
Okay, and you know what? I'm happy for Brian that he's moving into a nicer place, or a place that he likes, or closer to his property, or whatever he's doing. I'm happy for him. I just want the guy off the internet. That's it. You know, I hope that he's doing well. But I don't think he should be taking money from the body of Christ to fund his goals, hopes, dreams, and desires, if they have nothing to do with Christianity or evangelism or anything like that. And in this video, he's going to go on to talk about how he's reverting what he's currently doing to evangelizing to the lost, which in a video not too long ago, where he compared himself to David, he disagrees with evangelizing to the lost. He makes some sort of difference between, well, you shouldn't teach doctrine to the lost. It's okay to teach the gospel. The gospel is doctrine. Okay. This guy talks out of both sides of his mouth so often. You never know where he's coming from. And it's obvious here that the guy needs money. And that's why he's making this video. Because everything that he's going to say is something that very recently he was on the other side of the issue. You know, I think he even talks about street preaching and stuff like that, where he has a video where he's against street preaching, evangelizing to the lost. He says you shouldn't go to the lost. I mean, it's unbelievable how you cannot pin this guy down and how people just keep sending him money. I guess that's the trick. You know, you pull a Joel Osteen and just try and please everybody. Just keep the money rolling.
The transition happens, and then we're going to have basically a whole new look for the ministry as far as new website, not new website, but redoing the old one. Going to be updating a lot of things there.
And with that, you're in full-time ministry. Why wouldn't you keep that up to date? What do you do all day, Brian? What do you do? I make more videos than you do. You can't do a website? Can't keep it up to date.
Out some new information and just a lot of new things coming in the future as we were going through this transition time. So there's not going to be very many videos coming out on this channel. I am uploading some things on my other channel that are copyrighted videos going on to Patreon.
Let me tell you about this. You and your copyrighted videos crap. Let me tell everybody out there who wants to make commentary on Brian's so-called copywritten videos, let me tell you, this video right here is Brian's copywritten video, even though it's free to see on YouTube. All of my videos are all copywritten videos. Anybody's video that's on the internet is their own private, personal property, and they can do with it what they want to. Now, copyrights generally, unless they're monetized, it doesn't matter. But what that means is I can't take Brian's video right here and re-upload it in entirety on my own channel, rename it something else, and then monetize it. That's what that means. But making a commentary on someone's video, it becomes my content, especially because my commentary is usually going to be 2 or 3 times longer than his original stuff. And normally I wouldn't use the entire video or something like that, but it doesn't matter if it's on Patreon. That doesn't mean it's anything special. It doesn't mean, oh, it's an unlisted video. That does not mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. It's the same basic copyright. It's that it is your intellectual property. But people have a right to make commentary. People have a right to make commentary. It's called fair use. And Brian said, okay, his videos, anybody can re-upload them. It's only the ones on Patreon that you cannot re-upload. That doesn't have anything to do with making commentary on them. It has nothing to do with it. I have his videos, some of his, re-uploaded in entirety on my channel. He doesn't have a copyright claim on that, but he owns the copyright to it if he wanted to. He specifically said, though, Robert Breaker also specifically said, Ken Hovind also specifically said, feel free to re-upload my stuff. That's giving you carte blanche. Just go ahead and go do it. I don't care. That's the thing. And with my stuff, I am, for the most part, like that. I don't make a blanket statement like that because there are some videos that I put out that I only put out for like a day. I say my piece and then I take them down. And I don't need people copying and re-uploading those videos because they are there for a purpose. You know, if I'm replying to somebody's comment, for instance, on YouTube or something like that, I will make the video, I'll put it up, and if I see that they saw the video and they're responding and they're replying on that video, it served its purpose. So I'll take it down. And that's why I do not give people carte blanche re-upload my stuff. I mean, of course, it's fair use. You can make commentary on my stuff all you want to. But I don't say just blanket statement re-upload my stuff. I can't do that because I upload stuff and take it down. And that's just the way that I operate. Some other people do. Some other people, all they do is hour-long sermons, and they don't do quick response videos and things like that. So just because something is on Patreon or unlisted or something like that does not mean it's a special copyright. Something special. No. It's a basic intellectual property thing.
Our Patreon, Husky 394 XP Patreon page. If you want to be over there, if you're a Bible-believing Christian and can behave yourself.
There you go. If you don't behave yourself, then you're not a Bible-believing Christian. That's his mentality over there.
You can go on over there to Patreon and join up, and it's, comment on videos and whatever else is being released. Kind of get a little bit more inside information on what about.
Unless you disagree like Chad Wilson, and then you kick him out. See, yeah, by all means, go up there and go give the guy $5 to $100 a month. And then as soon as you disagree with what he's saying, the guy is just going to boot you.
What's going on, support the ministry. But that's where I'm using the secondary channel, because this channel here, there's so many. It
says support the ministry, support the ministry. And later on, he's going to talk about how he doesn't have a church. Now, see, these are things that myself and Ed Feniger have been pounding on for like 6 months. Ever since I got out of his little cult or whatever, we've been just hammering this guy on a few different issues. And in this video, he comes out and says he's going to start doing right by that. And he's not going to call himself a pastor. He's going to say he's a teacher and he doesn't run a church and all this stuff. Man, he's talking out of both sides of his mouth. It's like you have a couple of years of saying all this stuff, and now you're changing your tune. What's going on? What's going on?
Videos, and I'm cataloging them right now. Well over 1,000 videos, and I don't want to add a whole lot more videos to this channel. So yeah, it's going to be the secondary channel mostly is where the new content is going to be showing up at. Might make a few public videos, but again, we're transitioning right now, making some major changes with King James Video Ministries. So not going to be doing a whole lot of videos on YouTube for a little while here.
Good.
But some really neat stuff the Lord has been sending our way. Just a lot of really amazing books people have been sending us. This one here, I got to show this. I'm not going to get it out, but inside here is a page from an original 1611 authorized version. So we'll be showing that in the future. I'm going to be framing this. Present from a friend of the ministry. Really, really, really neat thing. Just a lot of projects to do in the future, but right now,
All personal stuff.
we are moving, in the process of moving. So
Good. And congratulations on whatever new house or whatever you got, man. I'm happy for you. I mean, I'm legit happy for you. But what does this have to do with ministry stuff? And who paid for that? I mean, I don't want to be a jerk here, but you're moving, you found a place, and the last video I saw was you were happy that your realtor ended up in the hospital because they were kind of jerking you around. Huh. And before that, there was a video where he says that anyone that dies in a natural disaster must be lost. Okay. All right.
like I said, big news coming out in the future. But I guess that's going to be it. So if you've been wondering where we've been at, just been taking some time off, and I'm not going to be putting as many videos out in the future on this channel. Again, there's some big changes coming to this channel. I'll just give away a little bit of it. I do want to focus a little bit more on evangelism and witnessing to the lost world.
What? Dude, what? You know, I told you he's gonna do that. Here it is right here. Bigger than David.
Right now.
I believe it is this video where I have him saying that you shouldn't evangelize to the lost world. Or no, his exact words, my wife corrected me, was you shouldn't teach doctrine to the lost world. And my opinion is, what is the difference? What is the difference? You have to teach some doctrine in order for a person to be saved. The gospel is doctrine, and then you have to let people know who Jesus Christ was and why he was important and why it's the blood that saves you. You have to teach doctrine. And that's the whole point. There's no point in preaching to the choir for salvation. There is 0 point. They're already saved. How would you like it if you went to church and every Sunday, that's all you hear for an hour is about Jesus and the blood of Christ? I mean, yeah, it's nice to hear and reaffirm, but like every single time you go there, that's what you're going to hear. No, you need to know about other stuff too. And people have questions when it comes to salvation. This is like, why did Jesus do this? What's the significance of that? You're teaching doctrine to a lost person so that they can fully understand. So they can actually put their faith and trust in Jesus Christ. And now he's doing a 180. 100%, 180 degrees from what he said, a week ago? When was this done? The 23rd. Not even a week ago. Not even a week ago.
Been getting a lot more active in that. Times are really getting dark out there, and there are people that are hurting. And times
are dark for him.
I've had my head in the Bible and in my books and things, and answering this, and we'll do a sermon on that and all this other stuff. But I'm starting to become so aware of the people out there in this world, and they're hurting.
Really? You're just now becoming aware of the people in the world. Mr. Anti-Street Preacher guy. Mr. Anti-Street Preacher. You're just starting to become... See, this is what happens when you run off to the wilderness and call yourself a pastor and a preacher. You end up with your own private interpretations of the Bible, and you come out with kooky crap like you're not saved, or it's a sin to be in an interracial marriage. You're not saved if you believe in anything other than pre-trib rapture. God the Father is Jesus Christ, is also the Holy Spirit. It's all just Jesus Christ, and they're all just parts of him. I mean, you come up with this crap when you're out there by yourself. And I really hope, I know you're lying. I know you're lying, Brian. I know you're lying, Brian. But I really, really actually hope you try to actually say or do what you are saying. I really hope that you try and do that. But who are you going to talk to, Brian? I mean, you probably got like 3 or 4 neighbors within a 10-mile radius of your property out there. You're just going to talk to them? What are you going to do? I mean, if your Patreon fund said, I need gas money so I can go into town and go street preach, I'm sure you'd have twice the subscribers, man. I need money for gospel tracts. Twice the subscribers. I need money to do this and do that. And you take your handy cam out there and you have your wife film you handing out gospel tracts and preaching to the lost world. You know how much more money you'd make? And you know how much more good you'd be doing. I know you're not going to do that because you are a lazy, lazy, lazy man. And that's the whole thing. You're not making DVDs because you're a lazy, 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 lazy man. That's what it comes down to.
They're suffering. They're looking for answers. And I can't give them the meat of the scriptures that I've been trying to do with this channel. They need to get saved. They're not going to be able to understand the things that the Lord, uses me to proclaim and to preach and teach the Word of God. Again, this ministry here, King James Video Ministries, if you're brand new to this channel, this is not a church. Okay, this is a teaching and preaching ministry. That's what this...
What? What? It's not a church. Teaching and preaching ministry. What the heck is your thing on Patreon then? I mean, I am, for the most part, speechless. I'm making running commentary on what Brian has to say. But he's not a church. He's just a teacher. Okay. I guess give me money? I mean, I don't know. He thinks that he can better serve the lost world by getting off of YouTube and running out to northern Maine and living in a tiny house with no electricity and stuff. Man, you're so far out of both sides of your mouth when you're talking like that. Because if you want to go out and reach the lost world, you go out to the lost world. That's where you go. And if you happen to live in a place like I do, I live in a town of 5,000 people, but you'd never know it. I mean, it is a quiet, quiet town. After 5 o'clock at night, there is nothing going on. It doesn't matter if it's New Year's Eve or not. There is nothing. There is no cars in the streets, and there is nothing. Even though there's supposedly a whole bunch of people here, and it is the county seat, the county courthouse, and everything is here. So if you live in a small town like that, your option for going out to the lost world, beyond just your local neighborhood or whatever, is YouTube. And what have you repeatedly said? That's why he turned his comments off, because his channel is not for the lost world. That's why he doesn't monetize or anything like that. He won't take money from lost people, even though when people ask for their money back that he says are lost and he doxes them on the internet, he won't give them their money back. but he won't take money from the lost world. But once he's already received it, he decides you're lost later, you're not getting your money back. And we're going to talk about that at the end of this video. With this last video where he doxed somebody else and actually threw up their PayPal account, which is, you know, what Brian doesn't understand with that is YouTube, Patreon, and PayPal are all based out of California, which has very strict anti-bullying and privacy laws on the internet. Very strict. And if you're using their business to collect personal information so you can then release it to the entire world using their companies, they might sue you. They might sue you. You don't have to worry about me. They might sue you because you're violating the terms of service when you sign up as a business. He's probably on a personal account, but you can't collect people's private information just so you can re-release it or sell it or do whatever with it to the rest of the entire world. You can't do that. It's against the law.
Whole thing is that I do. It's teaching and preaching the Word of God. But I'm going to get a lot more evangelistic in the future as far as witnessing to the lost.
In the
and
future.
preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ to the lost world.
In the future.
People need the Lord desperately.
Yeah.
And coming out with a lot of theological type of studies.
See, you know, his last video or whatever, he wants to talk about not preaching to the lost world. And now he's saying that those people need the Lord desperately. So, which is it? I don't preach doctrine or I preach doctrine. Which is it? You see, he needs a new income because people are dropping like flies from his Patreon. So now he needs to go out. Now he's going to go to the lost world. That's where he's going to go. And he's going to say, well, I guess I can take money from lost people now because those are the people I'm evangelizing to. That's how he's going to do it. That's how he's going to change. I guess I do need money from the lost world. I guess I do need their money. You need gas for your chainsaw.
It's okay, but this is a public place and a public forum, and most people are they're not getting it because they're not saved. And so the Lord's really been putting a burden in my heart to witness more to the law.
Wait. The people that are punking you, Brian, the people that are coming after you are all saved, man. Everybody who is attacking you is saved. It's your horseshit doctrine that people are after. It's not you personally, Brian. It's not you personally. If you're lying, Brian, we're going to call it out. But it is saved people, by and large. By and large. Obviously, you're going to have a couple of guys who just follow you around who are lost heretics or whatever. There might be a couple. But by and large, you are getting heat from fundamental King James Bible-believing people. People that are in your camp. People that believe in the pre-trib. People that believe in dispensations. People that believe all this stuff. That's who you're getting heat from. It's not the lost world. It's not the lost world coming after you.
Lost in things and just to preach the gospel. So that's some of the changes that are coming on this channel. Not going to say a whole lot more right now because, like I said, we're making some big transitions right now. So if you want to join up with Patreon over there, you enjoy the videos here and things, and you want a more intimate thing where you can actually, you know, I took down my email address because I got so many people emailing me in the past.
Right.
I did that years.
Yeah, right. I have so many people emailing me. I took down my email address. Blackhawk45 at netzero.net. That's the guy's email address. Go ahead and go email him. I mean, this dude is a nutcase. He has no problem putting out anyone else's personal information. And the video that I was going to make commentary on, I decided not to because it doxed the crap out of a guy named George I'll even say George Ward was the guy's name. But it has his PayPal account on there, and it has his address and his email address, and it has his home phone number on there. And this guy thinks it's cool to put it up on the internet, and he's mad because the guy wants a refund. So what? The guy wants a refund. That's your problem. Is it kind of odd that he wants a refund for something he did 6 months ago? Yes, but you don't know if somebody used his PayPal account. You don't know. You don't know if his kids got into it or his wife used his PayPal account and the guy disagrees with you and his wife decided to use the guy's PayPal account to go pay and give you money. You don't know that. And the guy requested a chargeback on it. There is, nothing wrong with that. And why the heck would you put that on the internet? If the guy wants a chargeback on it, yeah, you can have a discussion on it as to why the guy wants a chargeback. But don't just make the guy out to be this evil, evil man. And the dude gave him like $70 or something like that. Or whoever used his PayPal account. I can completely see where, my wife and I share accounts. Where if she's sending money off someplace and I find out about it months later and I'm like, what in the heck do you do? We need new windows and we need a roof. What the heck is this? Yeah, I'm going to go in there and try to get the money back. He doesn't know anything about what's going on with George. He knows nothing about that. And that's for him to work out. It's not for him to put on his personal, his little Patreon followers, oh, let's go demonize this guy who gave me money. And that's what it really comes down to. That's what it really comes down to. Let's demonize somebody who gave me money. Is he going to talk about the times that the guy donated and didn't request a fund back or anything like that? No. When he decided to dox me on the internet, did he let everybody know at the beginning of that video that I gave him $1,000? And that's how he knows that information about me? No, he didn't mention that. He didn't mention that. He just said what a dirtbag Max Bauer is. That's just what he's going to come up. And now he says what a dirtbag George Ward is. And this video is up. Ed's talked about it. So if you want to hear it, go to Ed. I don't know what his exact channel name is. Sorry. EdPF123. Go to him because he put it up. I refuse to put it up because the guy put up the guy's information, so I can't even play the video where good old Brian here is doxing the crap out of some guy, and I can't make commentary on it because he's got the guy's information all over the screen, and I don't want to be complicit in giving that information out to anybody else by means of my channel. I just don't do that. Not gonna do it. Not gonna. So this is what this punk has to offer. Give me money and feed me. And then if you disagree with them, he'll put your information out on the internet. And with that one with George, where he has George's account information for PayPal and everything up on the screen, you know what he blacked out? He blacked out his own information. But he left up good old George's. And then he goes on and says, I'm going to be weeding out people on Patreon. And he blacked out his Patreon subscriber list. It's like, those are usernames. Why would you even need to blacken those out? When you're talking about PayPal, that is a monetary financial, basically a bank account. Basically a bank account. You can't lie on Patreon. You have to actually put in your bank account information, your real name, your real address, your real phone number, all this stuff. They have to confirm all that. not a stupid Patreon account. I can come up with 123xyz at gmail.com and go get a Patreon account. He's going to only protect the people that agree with him. Everybody else is thrown under the bus. And it's defamation, buddy. It's defamation. And you're making Patreon and YouTube, all of them guys, Patreon, YouTube, and PayPal, all in California. They have very much so anti-defamation laws, cyberbullying laws. One of the only states. They're one of the only states. But they're pretty severe. And by you doing that, you're using their business to break the law. That's what you're doing. And you think that you're going to be around for a while now. Brian, go off and go street preach to the cows out there in northern Maine. Maybe, they probably don't have corn out there. Whatever they go, just go out into a field somewhere and just go start talking. Preach to the animals.
Years ago, I don't have too many ways that people can contact me, but Patreon is a good way to do it.
Why not? Wait. Why not? Why do you not? You're a King James Video Internet Ministry, quote unquote. Why can't people contact you? I'm just a dude, okay? I'm just a guy on the internet. And I happen to know a little bit about the Bible. And guess what, buddy? I have more seminary training than you. But I don't call myself a pastor. I don't say that I'm setting up a church. I'm just a Bible-talking guy on the internet. All I ever claimed to be. You know what? People can email me and they can just call me up. They can email me, and if they're not a kook or a crazy wingnut or something like that, I'll send them my phone number. I don't care. They can call me up and talk to me. My email is right on my page. MaxBauerProductions@gmail.com. You don't have to Pony Express me. You don't have to do anything like that. You can call me on the telephone. Because we do live in the 21st century, Brian. You want to fire up your horse and buggy? Get rid of your truck and do your horse and buggy thing? Is that what you're going to do on your farm? Because you've been working so hard? The idea is ludicrous. Your entire business is based around an internet ministry. Now, this dude, if he had a house church or he had a local church or he was doing something locally and had his time spent doing that, yes, I could understand not doing a lot of the, like have your phone number out there, your email out there, stuff like that. But let me tell you, Brian, there's this guy called Theodore, lies the devil, has more subscribers than you, more followers than you, and has his phone number, email address, contact information, and everything right on the banner on the top of his web page. So you can call him anytime. And you're telling me you're just too busy to look at email. I'm just too busy. I just don't know what to do. I'm just too busy. Too busy with what? You're in full-time ministry. Full-time. Do you understand what that means? 40 hours a week, 8 hours a day. Yo, you understand?
There's a lot of really good fellowship over there. I can control it a little bit better than I can just YouTube.
Control it.
Where anybody can come along and create.
Control it. You can control it. See, this is cult leader. Cult leader. I can control it better. I can control the narrative. Cult leader. That's a cult leader. Any lost person can go sign up on his Patreon too. So what? You can control it better.
Multiple accounts and whatever else. Of course, Patreon, the videos that are over there, they are copyrighted.
No, they're not, Brian.
So they're not to be shared out there.
Oh, shut up, Brian. Shut up. If it's on YouTube, and just because it's an unlisted video does not make it special. Don't give me this garbage. All of your videos are copywritten. Every single one. All of my videos are copywritten too. Just because you make the thing unlisted does not mean somebody cannot make commentary on it. No, doesn't matter. Making commentary. We're not stealing your stuff. The reason for a copyright is for somebody's financial gain. Like if I was going to re-upload his stuff or if I was actually going to take Brian's stuff and make DVDs and then sell them. If I was actually going to do what Brian said he was going to do. If I just took his stuff and said I was Brian Denlinger and started selling his stuff. Yeah. That'd be illegal because they're copywritten. But as it is, I'm not doing that. I'm not selling anything. All I am doing is making commentary. That is it. And there is nothing wrong with doing that. It's only the re-uploading of somebody's full video. And I said, if you're re-uploading something and you're not monetized and not making money off it, who cares? If I re-upload Robert Breaker's stuff on my channel, he is monetized. So the video on my channel is also going to be monetized. So whoever watches it off of my channel, Robert Breaker gets money. And Robert Breaker says, yeah, by all means, everybody re-upload my stuff. I don't care. Of course, because he's going to get more money. Brian Denlinger says, oh, they're all copywritten, so don't copy them and re-upload them. Because he wants to pretend that he's immune from any sort of controversy. He wants to try and stop people from actually pointing out his heresy. That's the whole thing. I'm gonna come after you for copyright. I'm gonna come after you for this or that. And it's like, you can come after me. I ain't doing anything wrong. But even if, you or your minions or something like that shut me down, I'm just gonna start another channel. Or use one of my other channels, or create a whole brand new one, and just keep doing the same thing. You're not going to slow me down, because you have no loss. You see, I'm not stealing any money out of your pocket. You're not monetized. I'm not stealing anything from you. There is no reason for a copyright on your stuff at all. Oh, it has to do with Patreon has nothing to do with it. Patreon is a donation site. When you had it when it was $1 per video or something like that, you might have had something of a case maybe, but you go through a monthly fee just based on being part of your Patreon page. It has nothing to do with your videos. It has nothing.
So, that's another issue, but a lot of things we're dealing with right now. But just wanted to do a quick ministry update, let you know I'm still around. I haven't been bumped off or anything else. I'm still here. But we're really excited about some of the big things that the Lord is doing through this ministry. Seeing a lot of people getting saved, and that's really kind of relit the fires in me to see not just people coming out of the whole Babel building system.
They're not getting saved by you, because you don't believe in that. Coming out of the Babel building system. Well, I actually want to hear that.
The whole Babel building system, the whole false church building system, and saying I've really learned a lot through this ministry.
Okay. Where is your church, Brian? Where are these people supposed to go? I mean, yes, you should find a good church. And if all the churches and buildings in around your area are crap, then you have to do alternate things. But you're a guy who talks about house churches. Where's that house church been? I don't think you've actually had a house church since you've been on the internet. I might be wrong on that, but that's been at least 8 years. Where's your house church? Pastor, Father, Pope Brian, where is it? You're telling all these people to leave these buildings, and you're going to be the one guy to go to for doctrine. And then you're going to say, well, I got crap to do, so I can't actually teach you anything. I'm going to be off the internet for a while. Bye.
That's great. That's a great thing. But I like to see people that are hurting out there in this world. People that are just so messed up, and they need Jesus Christ so bad in their lives. And that's really what I want to focus on here in the future, publicly.
Shouldn't that be the entire basis of a ministry, Brian? Did it take you this long to figure that out? It took you 10 years to figure out that, hey, that should probably be my basis.
I'm going to have the private teaching and preaching thing, but I really
Man.
think it's a bad thing to just be putting out a lot of theological type of studies in a public place where people just aren't going to get it. They aren't going to understand. So
People aren't going to understand. What are you talking about? He means he's not making enough money off of it. That's what he's talking about. He wants to do something that's more like Olstein. There was videos long ago that I said, Brian, why don't you just go be Joel Olstein? You're mad that I think it was, he's mad he's not a better cult leader was the name of the video. I think it was that one. Where I'm like, dude, just go be Joel Olstein. Just because that's what you want to do. You just want the money. That's what it comes down to. And I think Ed even said it a couple of weeks ago about, he's being Joel Osteen with some of the things that he was talking about. I think it was with What God Thinks of Liars video. He did a study on that, and I watched that. I enjoyed it. But yeah, I was like, dude, and this is what he's reverting himself into. See, all of the things that he said in this entire video are the complete opposite of what he has been saying for the last year or so. I mean, definitely for the last 6 months. Whenever he started his Patreon, I think it was in January. Ever since then, he's just whoosh, way off the rails. Just completely gone. And myself, who was a big supporter of Brian Denlinger, and a lot of other people on the internet have attacked him for his doctrine and going off the rails. And in response, he got himself kicked off the internet. That's what it comes down to. He comes out with anti-videos against us where he actually breaks the law, and he got kicked off the internet. Now, after he's been off for a few weeks, myself and Ed, and I'm not sure who else, have made videos about what Brian has been saying and his lies, and what he thinks about street preaching and evangelism and church and all this other stuff. And here it comes out. He comes out in this video, and he does a complete 180 degrees on what he had been talking about for the last 6 months. It's like it's a completely different person standing here. Where is the interracial marriage thing, Brian? Where is the Trinity thing, Brian? This is a fundraiser for Brian. This is what this is, where he completely talks or speaks completely differently in this video than he has for the last at least 6 months. And especially in the last couple of weeks where he wants to dox everybody and call everyone heretics and lost. And, he's speaking completely differently here. Completely differently. Which means we're hitting him in the pocketbook, which is what counts. Brian, get a job. We don't want to see anything bad happen to you or your family. And I'm happy you found a new place that's nicer than the one that you live in and it's closer to your property. That's a good thing. That's great. Just get off the internet, man. Just get off the internet. That's all we want. That's all we want. There's about 20 seconds left, and we'll do that, and then we'll call it.
That's all I'm going to say for now. Please do keep us in your prayers. Thank you so much to everybody out there that supports the ministry, and we'll see you later.
Good. Oh, and now he puts up his moniker that he should have been doing the entire time. That's a very bad moniker, by the way, Brian. You can't read it. It just looks like Hebrew or something. Koine Greek? I don't know. It's hard to read. So you need to change that. But after every video, it should say King James Video Ministries. That should be his main thing, and his website should be his main thing. The guy doesn't want to actually put any time or effort into his business at all. And it is a business. It's not a church. It's not a ministry. It's not nothing. It's how can I collect as much money as possible without doing anything? But see, Brian, here's the problem. When you don't do anything, like anything at all, except sit in front of a camera for an hour every 2-3 days, you're not going to make much money. And I'm surprised that you can live off what you're getting. I'm really surprised. I mean, I'm really surprised. And you have done some good studies and stuff like that, and stuff you could do DVDs on. You could do that, but that requires work. Requires work. What do I expect out of Brian Denlinger? Nothing. I think he's going to come out with this, like videos like this, where he doesn't attack anybody and doesn't go after anybody to get money. And then once he has enough for this month, then he'll start attacking people. And then he'll come out with another video where he says, "Oh, all I'm trying to do is preach to the lost world now, and I need money for gospel tracts and Bibles, and I need money for this." And no, he needs money to fix his air conditioning. That's what he needs money for. Something like that. It's a scam artist and a con job. And, you know, his entire webpage has always been a fraud. You know, I did a video on it, and I think it was like a month ago. And I pulled it up and I said, I haven't been here in like 4 years because there's nothing here. There's no videos here. There's no real information there. He has a really nice spreadsheet on comparing the KJV to the newer versions, or the NIV, pretty much the NIV. Okay, well that's cool. But you know, I also have the book, by it's called New Age Versions. And now I can't see her name in there for some reason. The names are really bad with me, but it's called New Age Versions. And that was pretty much how he started his ministry. So I have that book. So I have all that information. So he kind of just copied all that down and put it in a spreadsheet, and that's good. Okay. So that's what you have up there. When you go to the web store, you can donate. Okay? And then you go to what the donations are going for, and it's supposedly for DVDs. And it's a bunch of crap. You know, it'll be real interesting to see what he does. Because his business model has been, I'm going to be as lazy and pathetic as I possibly can be. That's his business model. And, you know, I'll call any church a business. If I had Patreon and I was running some sort of church or whatever I was doing, church, or had PayPal or something like this, you still have to run it like a business. Just because it's spiritual in nature does not mean you don't have to make money. You do. Every church building needs to make some money. That's just how it goes. You have to pay the pastor. You got to pay the heat bill, the electric bill, the light bill. You have to make money, and you have to make more money than what you're spending. Because then when something comes up, some guy drives a truck through the side of your church and you need to fix it, you need to have money on hand to do that. You need to have money on hand to do hand out gospel tracts. You need money on hand to do buy Bibles for people. You need extra money. You have to run it like a business. That's how it is. And Brian, his business is failing because he's just too lazy to do anything. And he lies too much. I mean, the guy just lies constantly. Oh, no, I'm going to go evangelize to the lost. Oh, I turned off my comments because there's too many lost people on there. Oh, I don't accept money from the lost. Oh, yeah. You just lie. You lie so much, dude. It's uncanny. It's uncanny. And there is really nothing that will surprise me when a guy like me, who gives you more money than anybody else on your Patreon, I never would have. The only reason you got that information was because I trusted you. And what did you do with that trust? You burned me. You completely burned me. You're the guy who gave you the most money. It's nothing you do, Brian, is ever going to surprise me. It's not ever going to surprise me. But we will not tolerate you putting out personal information on the internet. We're not going to tolerate your racism. We're not going to tolerate your anti-Trinitarian stuff without calling you out on it. And you can run and hide and say, "Oh, I'm gonna start preaching to the lost world and completely change my tune," is what I've been saying for the last 4 or 5 years. I'm gonna completely change my tune, and we're gonna call you on your BS. As well, just bring up the videos and be like, "Dude, right here, you're saying not to do that," and you won't admit to your mistake. Now, see, in this video right here, if he would have come out in this video and said, I was wrong about it's not right to withhold the gospel and withhold doctrine and withhold discussion from the lost world. That isn't right, because actually what we should be doing is going out into the lost world. So I'm changing my ministry around to reflect that, and it's going to take some time to figure out how to do that. If he said that, man, we'd all be right there with you, and we'd be like, yes, he finally gets it. But no, he doesn't. He'll never admit that he's wrong, ever. All he does is say, I'm going to appease these people because I need money. And then once I have the money, I'm going to go off over here and try and get my cult members riled up so they can give me more money. That's the whole game. So, anyways, with that, thank you all for your support. With that, I guess I'll be out of here. We're going to be doing some things for the next few days, so I won't be around. And then after that, we're going to do a live stream on the pre-tribulation rapture. And that's going to be with Believe Faith with the Last Generation. Hopefully, we'll try and figure out what day that is going to be, and we can rock and roll with that. Give me money and feed me. With that, we're going to be out of here.